Hi, I'm Greg of the Real G-Pops Workshop. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made a workbench so that I could make a workbench. Well, so I could make my ultimate workbench, the one that's in front of you right now that you can't see, but trust me, it's there. You'll catch a glimpse of it at the end of this video. So without further ado, let's get to it. Welcome to the channel.
For quite some time, I had no permanent workbench until one day I bought the Works Pegasus 2-in-1 sawhorse and work table. Came with quick clamps and a few plastic bench dogs. It actually saw me through a number of projects, and it worked like a champ. But, of course, like most folks, I wanted more. So that's when I bought another one. I had two. And then I bought the Works Sidekick, the tables to match. They served well, but again, I wanted more. So I decided to mill up some lumber and take advantage of the sawhorse functionality that these tables provide. So I milled up two pieces for the sawhorse and the rest for another project. One thing I didn't mention is that this is a budget build. So what I did was grab some existing particle board, yes, particle board that I already had, and I was going to use that for the top of my workbench. Here I am squaring up the edges and making sure that I have a piece that is worthy of use as a workbench. That's quite square, that's quite worthy. So at this point I decided to countersink some holes and for my screws and attach them to the 2x4s that I milled up earlier. As you can see, the 2x4s look fresh and crispy, and the countersunk holes are quite suitable. Smooth surface, perfect for a workbench. Now that that was done, it was time for some protection. I'd never used shellac before, but I decided to use it on this project. The only thing I would do differently in the future is use a roller. I brushed it on, and it turned out fine, but just for ease of use in the future, I would probably roll it. That's one coat. That's two coats. As you can see, the edges are still sharp at this point. Coming up, you can see I didn't film it, but I pulled out the trusty router and I softened the edges. Put a quarter round on the 2x4s and also on the edge of the top itself. At this point, I decided to drill some holes for the bench dogs. I pulled out the Miles Craft, and in the blink of an eye, we had a hole. So to test fit, I grabbed one of the Pegasus bench dogs just to ensure that the sizing was correct, and as you can see, it fit like a glove. And look at the color on that top. That shellac actually came out very nice. The holes are parallel, and for those that say that there is a correct number of dog holes to put into your top, no, there's not. But what there is a lot of thinking. How many should I put? Where should I put them? Why should I put them? Do I actually use dog holes? For me, the answer is yes. And it's going to be however many I want, wherever I want. And I suggest you do the same. So on one end, I grouped them kind of tightly together and a little more dense. And on the other end, I spread them out a little bit. At this point, we can see some sexy sawdust blowing. That's what we do. And on this end, you can see that the dog holes aren't grouped as tightly together, but they are straight. So you can see a better shot here. Dense on one end, a little farther spread out on the other. And she was ready for use. These are some scenes where after about 6 months of use, she was actually built, as mentioned earlier, to build a ultimate workbench. And these are some scenes of me using her over the past 6 months. As you can see, I stained on it, sawed on it, sanded on it. And even when I get done, I wipe stain on the workbench itself. That's what it's for. You can see the wear and tear at this point. She is definitely being used. If she build it, use it, sand on it, stain on it, paint on it, cut on it. And that's why she was ready for a makeover. At this point, she's about 6 months old. Has quite a few projects under her belt, and it's time for some upgrades. I don't know why I didn't round over the bench dog holes the first time, but I didn't. But I'm making up for it now. So I'm sanding off all the months of use and abuse and stain and getting the surface flat once again, and again enhancing the dog holes for ease of use, because I actually do use these. People use T-track, dog holes, clamps, whatever you choose. This is what I do. But at this point, you can see I'm about halfway through sanding, and you can see the amount of use. I actually do use this table almost daily. So there's a lot of sanding going on. I love a smooth surface. Again, we're smoothing out the roundovers on those dog holes, and more sanding. Did I say I like a smooth surface? Well, yeah, I like a smooth surface. So sand away, sand away. And now we're ready for some stain. I had some leftover espresso, and since it's my bench, it's my stain. So I just did this to give it some color. Later you'll see I'll put some varnish on it. So I put a couple of coats of this espresso stain, again, just to let that soak in. And I put it on with a scouring pad. Gets it in those nooks and crannies, and that surface really is smooth to the touch. Ready for coat number 2. As you can see, that first coat was absorbed well, and at this point you can see it's ready for some varnish. And this is the varnish going on at the end here, and at this point she is almost ready for service, ready for a second life. And this is what she looked like after she was done drying. It's hard to tell because there's depth on that surface, but she is butter smooth. One thing I did add for round 2 of her life is I added a roll of paper to help with the glue ups and stains, so I don't have to do so much work when I decide to refinish her again. But other than that, she is in original condition. And again, the Pegasus sawhorses and work tables performed perfectly. No complaints on that. I just needed a dedicated workbench, which is what this table was built for. And you'll see in an upcoming video how that turned out, and you'll get a glimpse right after this. Like and subscribe to Real G Pop's Workshop. So you ask, where will I put this workbench? Into the workbench that she made. You're taking a quick look at the ultimate workbench that I made. That'll be the next video. But this is where I will keep this portable workbench. I actually do a lot of traveling work in homes and to friends. So I'll throw that in the back of the truck and take it with me when I need a work surface. In addition to the workbench in my garage, I made a mobile saw table. That too will be a separate video. So this is just a tease for you that stuck around to watch the first video.
Hi, glad to see you made it this far. So hopefully that was rather entertaining and gave you a little insight into what I do and how I do it. Hopefully that little tease at the end will draw you in for the next video where I show you how the ultimate workbench was made using that workbench. So again, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment. See you on the next one.